Hey English 97, this video is an overview of our syllabus. So if you read it, great. If you want me to explain it, this video is for you. So this is what it looks like. You get to the link for our syllabus by clicking on the link that says syllabus in the left menu of our Blackboard page. I also sent that email to you, the link, at the beginning of the semester. So either way, you should be able to get here. Almost everything that we have as documents in our class are Google Docs, so they will all look like this in format. The beginning of the syllabus just talks about when I'm available, particularly for office hours, because it's summer, right? So from Tuesday, from noon to 12:50, I will be online. I'll be available. I'll be checking my email. I'll probably be grading because that's what I do during office hours. Don't call me. Send me an email if you want to talk. I'll directly send you a link in Zoom. We can meet up. We can chat. You can show me what you're working on. Ask me any questions. That's what office hours are for. Important things that it talks about also on this first page is that this is an online class. So the most important thing that you can do to be successful in this class is to make sure you have reliable internet use. I go out of my way to make sure that everything in this class should be available for you to be able to do from a regular smartphone, whether you have an Android or Apple or whatever it might be. But it doesn't mean that that's the easiest way to access materials. So I tell all my students to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C, because you will always need the internet to be able to do work in this class, and you will need it multiple times during the week. With that said, the overview of this class is that it's about learning how to write. So most of you have had many English classes at this point. The point of this class is to kind of refresh your memory on what works, or learn what works if you haven't before, for you as a writer. Not just in general, but what works for you, to kind of unlearn any bad habits that you have so that you're prepared and you feel confident moving forward into your upcoming college classes and whatever writing assignments that you may be given there. So we're going to work with tips and strategies and practice so that you have all of those tools in your bag when you're ready to move forward. Beyond that, this is an online class, as I said before, and there's a couple of different online tools that we will use. The most important one is Blackboard. The easiest way to access Blackboard is to Google SWIC Blackboard, and it'll take you to the login page. To log in, you need your student ID number and whatever password you use to access eStorm. That password is going to be the same for Blackboard, your email, Teams, or anything else at the college, and you're going to need it for all of your courses. Beyond that, this is what we call an asynchronous online class. So there's not a time period where everyone in the class is going to meet up all in Zoom together and talk or chat. For the most part, you will be doing all of your work individually as you go throughout the week. The only exception to that is the conferences that you'll have with me. So a couple of times this semester, I'll send out a link for you to find a time and a day that works for you, and we'll meet up in Zoom and discuss your work. This gives you a chance to get kind of live in-time feedback about what you're writing and reading and learning about before you get ready to submit that work. So we will do that. And then the last thing is just Google. So in this class, all of you have been given a Google Drive folder. To access that, all you have to do is hit the link in the Blackboard menu that says Student Google Folders. You'll find your name, and in your folder, you'll find all of the files that you'll need to write in this class. They're already created for you, so all you have to do is type in them. Once you do that, I can see it, you can see it, we can work together to make them better. So if you've never used Google Docs or Google Drive before, there is a link in Blackboard that talks about how to set up an account if you want to, different ways of using it as far as tips and tricks. You can do that if you would like, but you don't have to, because I've already created everything that you will need for you. The next thing is email, right? So email is the primary mode of communication for the entire college. So financial aid, if they need you, they're going to email you. The bookstore, if they need you, they're going to email you. Enrollment, if your class schedule changes, they're going to email you. And the same thing works for this class. You'll get an email from me every Tuesday morning that contains the video for the week that explains what you should be doing in class that week, has helpful hints or links or anything else that I want you to look at It will always come to your SWIC email. So just keep in mind that you need to check your email often, not just for my class, but for things from the college in general. So, add it to your phone is what I tell people. Beyond that, the thing that I also tell people about email is that this is a college class. You're going to run into things that you don't understand, that you have to look at more than once, even more so in an online class, right? Because I'm not there with you to say, hey, this doesn't look like you're getting it. I can't see your face if you're confused, right? So email me no matter what it is, right? I'm going to email you back no matter what it is. I promise you, you're not getting on my nerves. I get paid to do this and I really love my job. So just make sure that you're communicating as much as you possibly can, because that's the way we learn and that's the way we move forward. I already talked a little bit about office hours. So I'm going to go ahead and move to grading. So in this class, right, we have very few grades, but we do have 1,000 points. So each week, your day will start on Tuesday with your discussion board. In that discussion board, you'll find the links for everything that I want you to watch if it's a video, or do if it's an assignment, as well as your weekly attendance quiz. So everything will happen in the discussion board. Everything will be there in one place so that you can find it. So the point breakdown is here so that you get points for your attendance quizzes, 1 a week, discussion board post, 1 a week, that will do 3 different papers with 3 different revisions and 3 conferences. And all of those things you get points for, because we're working our way up to the final assignment of the semester, which is our writing portfolio. So in order to pass this class, everyone has to pass a portfolio assessment. What that means is that you'll get to pick 2 of your papers, put them together in a folder, and other professors besides me are going to look at them and say, hey, this is good, this is great, this is awesome, this person is going to pass, this person needs to take the class 1 more time, whatever their determination is. In order to be able to submit that portfolio, you have to earn at least 60% of the points available in the class. And if all of this is like, whoa, I've never heard of that before, don't worry, we're going to come back to it in week 2 and really think about and explain more and look at some examples. All right, so that's how you get grades and pass the class. Also on here, we have our course objectives, which explains what we're trying to get done in the class, what I hope that you walk away knowing, what it means to have a rhetorical purpose. Rhetoric by itself simply means effectively communicating. So when you are effective, when you're communicating, you are being rhetorical. And we want to do it on purpose. Very often we do it, but we're not thinking about what makes us effective in terms of how we communicate. So we're going to use all of these things to do that. There are no textbooks required for you to purchase in this class. It's an online class and all the materials are online. Most of it is links to readings and videos that you're going to have to watch, but the bulk of the work in this class is writing, either in Google Docs or responding in the discussion board. All right, so we're going to cover all kinds of topics in this class. All of them deal with ways that you can go about writing that makes it easier for you, right? What are the things that work for you? What are the things that don't? And when they don't, we're going to switch it up and try something else so that you figure out what your writing process is, how you complete a paper that you're proud of. Also talks a little bit about academic dishonesty in here. I'm sure you've heard the word plagiarism before. I tell people always the same thing. I've been teaching online for about 17 years now. I promise you there's nothing online that I haven't seen. So you could choose to do this and it probably won't work out that well for you. But more importantly, if you don't do the work yourself, you will never learn how to do it, which means that every time you need to write something, you will have to have someone else do it for you. And that's just not an effective way to move through the world. All right, I think that's all the things that I really want to talk about in regards to the class. The last thing I'll just say is that, as I said earlier, this is an online class and you'll be doing most of the work independently. And I think it's important to have a good understanding of what it looks like going in. In order to be successful in this class, you really need to dedicate a minimum of at least 4 hours a week toward the work in the class. Some of that's going to be watching videos, some of that's going to be reading. A lot of it is going to be writing and posting in various ways. So whatever your life is like, you know you better than anybody else. I highly suggest you set alarms on your phone, think about your calendar. When are you going to do the work for this class? Because if you don't plan out the time, I'm sure your life is just like everybody else's. Everything will eat up your time. And it really is a direct connection between how much time you put into a class and how well you do in it. So as you're planning for this semester, please keep that in mind. With that said, if you have really struggled with writing, writer's block, or reading in the past, then you should add more time to that, right? 4 hours is the average. But if you have concerns because you're an adult and you know you, then plan for 5 so that you know that you're going to be successful moving forward. And that's about all I really want to talk about or highlight from the syllabus. There's more information on here, of course, but you can read that yourself. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as I said earlier, just email me. Looking forward to working with each of you this semester.